What's going on, Jeromes? So the Minnesota Vikings making some changes at the running back position, 2 off seasons in a row. So last off season they cut bait with Dalvin Cook. This off season, letting go of Alexander Mattison, and it does seem to be Ty Chandler time for the Vikings. But the Vikings definitely could and should add some depth along the running back room, where the Vikings running game last year was very poopy. Now, some of the blame is on the offensive line. Some of the blame is on Kevin O'Connell. Some of the blame is on being on quarterback 4. But some of the blame is also not having enough talent in the running back room, and the Vikings need to do something about that. Enter one Saquon Barkley. That's right. Fantasy football dreamboat, and a guy who's toiled away, unfortunately, with the Giants last couple of years, even though he looked pretty good in the playoff game against the Vikings. But reportedly, the Giants will not be using the franchise tag for the second time on Saquon, giving him a 120% raise. So he will indeed hit free agency, and there looks to be a market out there. And SpotRack estimates his market value at $9.9 million. We'll see if he does realize that, but question is, should the Minnesota Vikings be in on Saquon Barkley? Well, let's walk through. So Saquon is 27 years young. Yes, it's basically the age that the Vikings gave up on Dalvin Cook, and then you saw what happened with Dalvin and the Jets. So, but he's 6 foot, 232, monster, 2-time Pro Bowler, 2018, 2022, career 5,211 rushing yards, 34 touchdowns, career 288 receptions, 2,112 touchdowns receiving. So basically, like he is a solid do-it-all running back. He's a true 3-down guy. Definitely has some power, definitely has some bursts, and he is just, I mean, there's spurts where Saquon looks like one of the best running backs in the league. Also, health is a concern at times with Saquon, though. But he's returned himself into a very solid pass protector as well. That's why he's not necessarily a liability. And plus, he just has a will to win. You saw that in the wild card game against the Vikings. And you see the way that he operates out there. He is truly the team leader on offense. Daniel Jones is not. All the Giants teammates agree with that. So, I mean, Saquon would be adding leadership. It would be adding great talent in the running back room, and it would make some sense. But there's a couple reasons that could be holding this back with the Vikings. Number one, age. Like we said, he is 27, just turned 27 in February, and between Penn State and the Giants, he's got a lot of mileage on him. So you don't want to be holding the bag when there's a fall off, and with running backs, it goes pretty damn quick. Second is contract. So the Vikings, they're currently sitting on around $36 million in cap space, and if they don't re-sign Kirk, they don't re-sign Daniil. That's even more cap savings by not having to give them a new contract, even though they have void year dead cap hits. But contract, I mean, Saquon's potentially looking at a pretty decent premium contract. SpotRack estimates just shy of 3 years, $30 million, somewhere in there. Also, other free agent options on the market. I mean, this may be the greatest free agent running back class in NFL history. What's up, Sylvie? Because Josh Jacobs probably isn't going to get the tags. Derrick Henry is going to be a free agent. Pollard probably won't be tagged again. Austin Eckler, a little bit up there in age. Gus Bus will be there. Madison's out there now. Zeke actually had himself a pretty damn decent season with the Patriots last year. Devin Singletary, I think, is super underrated, coming from the Texans. Clyde, former first-round pick, is there. DeAndre Swift, who had himself a resurrection season with the Eagles last year, is also out there. So it's almost a spot where there's too much supply. There's too many solid free agent running backs that no team necessarily has to break the bank for any of them, and that could actually depress market value, even with the salary cap going up, which is kind of interesting. But then you also have the draft class, and that's, frankly, the way that a lot of good teams are building a running back, where it's like, hey, you're coming in young, and we're going to ride you out, and we're going to have a running back by committee, and once it's time for you to get paid, deuces, we'll see you. I think that the running back market is a little bit broken in that regard, since these guys' career are naturally just cut more short, but that's an argument for another day. But Trey Benson, Braylon Allen, Marshawn Lloyd, Estime, Blake Corum are out there. This is a pretty damn solid running back class coming in. Also, belief in Ty Chandler, where Ty is heading into year 3, looks to be RB1. He's come a long way in pass protection. He's a great dual threat in terms of a receiver, as well as has a good nose for the football. And he's more than just a speedy home run hitter. He runs patiently. He runs very well between the tackles. So I think that he should be RB1. And instead of bringing in another alpha like Saquon, maybe it'd be better to draft a complementary piece, more of a power back, or maybe bring in a guy in free agency. Also, this doesn't really fit in with Kwesi's Moneyball motif, where, I mean, he did play, he did pay Madison last year on a 2-year deal, but basically it was just a 1-year deal. But $4 million for a running back is a lot different than $9 or $10 million for a running back per season. So we'll see there. But I just can't help myself. Like, just the idea. I mean, sure, maybe Saquon only has 1 or 2 years left of his absolute peak prime, but I love the way he competes. He's tenacious. He gets after it. He's a true 3-down back, and he certainly would be an asset for the Vikings and would bring some really solid leadership as well. But I guess we'll see what happens. But your thoughts are thoughts. Saquon Barkley won't be franchise tagged for the 2nd year in a row and will be a free agent. Should the Vikings be in? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But next time, Skol, production value.